those things. I'm gonna burn every last one of them.
Victor is alive. The town I was telling you about, he's been stuck there all these years.
Where did you get the lunchbox?
This family is all we've got, and now we've got one left.
What was I supposed to do? We would have
We
starved.
could have found another way!
Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Academy channel. I'm your detective host Igor, and today we are going to analyze a small teaser for episode 2 season 3 and also some promo materials from the Amazon website. Obviously there's gonna be spoilers. There's gonna be official spoilers and unofficial spoilers, and if you're gonna watch this video until the end, you're gonna understand what I mean. Before we begin, I want to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon. Your donations is what make this video possible. And I want to give a shout out to Darkseer, our new Patreon on Motivator status. Thank you so much and welcome to community. I also wanted to thank Schools Corp for providing me the material from the Amazon website and sending me the link, and also the teaser. I found it on the Jeremy Ice and Fire channel, so please subscribe to his channel if you don't want to miss those teasers never again. So the link is gonna be obviously below. He really doesn't need my help growing his audience, but I took it from his channel, so the least I can do is give credit. And let's dive in. So we're beginning with Jade rescuing Boyd. He's the one who's gonna find Boyd next morning after Tian-Chen was killed, and he's gonna ask him a question of how did you even survive? You were dead that night. Why the monsters didn't kill you? Now we had that scene in the previous trailers and we were kind of curious, maybe he's talking to some kind of a spirit or a vision. No, nothing here like that. He's just talking to Boyd, and we can see here that Boyd is basically don't really know what to do right now because he lost someone very important to the town and to him, and yeah, he goes to see Kenny. I think this is already after the funeral because finally somebody is doing it. Finally, we waited for 2 seasons for it to happen. Kenny is packing up the alcohol. He had enough with the monsters. He wants to go probably to the caves, use the alcohol that Jade created for this place and burn all of the motherfuckers, and I'm all for it. It's probably not gonna work. We have many more seasons, many more episodes, but at least somebody is finally talking about it. Why you never tried to burn them? Let's see what's gonna happen here, if actually Kenny gonna go or Boyd will be able to stop him from this kind of suicide mission. Now this is the scene from previous trailers. We have seen it already, just like this one, so it's just good to know that everything is gonna be probably packed in the first 2 episodes, maybe even in the first 4. It means that we haven't seen what's gonna happen in episode 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the trailers, and this is a great job done by the MGM Plus production or promotion studio who is responsible for the trailer. Thank you so much for not revealing to us everything that's gonna happen in this season in 1-2 minute trailer. Now here we can see the funeral. Everybody is set. Obviously I couldn't find here anything like interesting from our part, like from the detective side of you. Didn't find here any details. What's interesting here is I don't see Sarah here, and she is probably not really welcome. She's still like not really a well-received resident in this town. People didn't forget what she did, especially since she was the one responsible for the death of Kenny's father. It probably wouldn't be such a good decision to be in the funeral for his mom. By the way, I have no idea what the creators have against Kenny, but they keep kicking this poor guy in the balls, first with his dad, then with Christian, her fiance, and now his mom. He's obviously gonna be a little bit angry this season. Yeah, we can see that everybody's probably praying, everybody's eyes are closed, so they are saying some kind of a prayer. We know that Tian-Chen was Christian, so they're probably praying something from a Christian religion. And yeah, we can see that Julie is crying. She obviously got attached to Tian-Chen. She was like a secondary mom, just not for just Matthew's family, for the whole town. She was the one feeding everybody, she's the one taking care of everybody, so obviously it's a very big hit for Fromville. And we can see that Ethan here is putting something on her grave. It's probably something that was done by her, maybe it was something that was done by Tilly, because we've seen her knitting something, like always doing something with Elgin together, and it looks like something that was needed recently, and if so, I would definitely love to check what is the whole picture, what is the big picture of this carpet, whatever it is, just to understand what Tilly did there, because I don't really trust that grandma. And we can see that Donna and Boyd, they are arguing. I'm not even gonna spend too much time on the clock here because it moved again and it's back on 8 o'clock, so probably need to rewatch the first 2 seasons again, because it kind of seems like it's not random and every time the clock moves, it moves to the same position, at least at the post office. Once again, I'm probably gonna need to do another rewatch, just for myself already. Not gonna do another 20 videos, this experience almost killed me. And yeah, once again, we're talking here about Victor's father. We can see the watch. The clocks are hunting me, I see them everywhere, and they're basically talking about the place, and he doesn't believe Tabitha. He's yelling at her, where did you find that lunchbox? He's probably thinking she has to do something with Victor disappearing. Maybe she's the killer, maybe she's the killer's daughter, whatever, but he doesn't really trust her. Even though he has a lot of drawings in his house that we're gonna discuss today. And in my opinion, this is the best piece of information we have so far for episode 2, and not only for episode 2, also for the whole season 3. Now, this is when we finished with the teaser and we are moving to the Amazon promotional materials. As you can see, the quality of the image is way better already, and we kind of have to rewind our chronology right now and get back to the point when they're all going to the funeral. We can see that Jim is hugging Ethan, but Julie is keeping her distance. She doesn't really want to get close to her father. She's probably angry at him. We still don't know why, but she has many reasons to be angry. He let Tabitha leave. He just left during this night, and he left them alone for them to escape from the scary grandma monster. So there are a couple of reasons for Julie not to be very happy with Jim. And yes, just another shot. They're walking. You can obviously see who's close to who here. Okay, Kenny is sad, and I'm obviously not gonna spend too much time on it. We can see Christy. By the way, Mariel, you should really not do anything related to cutting somebody's hair. Why did you do it? Okay, never mind. We can see Jim is thinking about something. When people look like that, they tend to go away, like somewhere to this place in their mind when they're not present. Jim is obviously not present in the moment. He's thinking about something, probably about Tabitha, but once again, let's move forward. We can see her Alice here is sitting, and behind him we can see that Julie, it looks like she's about to say something, maybe after the funeral. Boyd usually wants to give some kind of a speech, or people were angry at him and yelling at him. I don't know, just an idea for you to think about. And we can see that Sarah is basically outside. She didn't want to come into the church for the funeral of Tian Chen, even though they were really close. She didn't want to kill her husband. Obviously, I'm not defending her, even though I kind of start to feel kind of bad for her, but she still was very close to Tian Chen. She helped her. They both work in the diner, and she felt towards her like she was her mother. So obviously she's very sad, but she doesn't feel comfortable being there in the church. And we can see that Julie here is coming to talk to her. She probably feels grateful to Sarah for saving her, even though she was the one to almost kill her brother, but she was also the one to save them during that night. If it's not for Sarah, both of them would probably be dead. So yeah, obviously she want to go and say thank you at least. Now Sarah actually goes to the hospital, and this is gonna be an interaction we didn't see in season 2 between her and Christy, and we know that Christy feels strongly about Sarah, being that night when they talked about, they had a girls' night, and Sarah was like, can I kill someone? And Christy was like, yeah, you should do it, because if you want to do something bad for something good to happen, you usually can do it. Obviously it's not what happened, but it's basically what happened, and they're probably gonna have a very strong conversation. We could see that Christy, her body language is basically saying, don't come any closer because I'm gonna bite you. And we can see that Mariel kind of feels bad. She doesn't really support Christy's decision here to behave like that, and even at that moment she's like, yeah, why are you being such a bitch to that girl? She doesn't really deserve it. You can see that she feels bad enough. I don't know, this is just once again my speculation, but we will have to wait and see. Just a couple of days left until episode 2. And we can see here that Julie, I think also this is after the funeral, she's very closed inside of her cell. She doesn't want to talk to anyone, and we can see that she's gonna have an interaction between her and Jim. This is, as I told you, probably not after Jim just arrived, because, you know, look at once again Jim's body language, hands in the pockets. He feels like really distant from his daughter. She's attacking him. This is not like a body language of a father who just came back from a night outside and discovered that his children were in like life and death danger, life and death situation. Like any other parent would hug his kids, no matter what they say to him, no matter how angry they are at him, he would throw himself at them like to hug them. So here he's like basically giving her the option, the opportunity to tell everything she wants to say. And we can see that Donna here, she either was cutting tomatoes or she is hurt. Something happened here. Her hand is bleeding. I have no idea what happened, but once again, let's wait and see. And Victor is dead. Now, all of those images, we already analyzed them in the analysis for the trailer, so I'm not gonna once again spend too much time on it. This is obviously an Eloise behind him on the images, and Victor is also there with them. Also the same images, Victor, Eloise, tiny kid, Eloise, and Tabitha here is pretty not in a very good shape, here, yeah. Victor's dead. Now, once again, look at the interior of his house. It's not the same, but it kind of reminds you the houses from FROMville. It's very similar. It's very all like 70s, like the, you know, like the colors here on the walls, the green and white. It doesn't feel modern. It feels like something from the 70s and 80s. And why? You know, like it's still an old house, and of course your wife disappeared, but still you can do something in your house and change the interior. Maybe there is something there, maybe not. Anyway, when I move forward, nothing here, also not that many details, but we can see that they had this moment probably of, you know, like not trusting each other, but they gonna eventually work it out because he gave Tabitha some soup. She's probably very hungry. He's drinking tea. He's even smiling a little bit. So there is some connection here, and I'm all for it. Like here, once again, the images behind Tabitha, nothing here that's somehow relevant to us, in my opinion. If you see here something that I don't see, please share it with me in your comments. Now here, Tabitha actually went to his like cellar. I don't know what it is, but this is where she's gonna find all the drawings. Now I took, I think, every drawing and I zoomed on it as much as I could, so we can basically talk about each and every one of them. But once again, I apologize in advance, the quality obviously is not the best. When you zoom in on those small images, they become blurry, they become pixelated, and I try to find like the middle ground here so we can understand what's going on, but also not see just, you know, like one big blurry spot. So yeah, those are the images. I'm not gonna, once again, like you can obviously check the images by yourself. I'm gonna leave the link to the Amazon website, like they also need my help with getting more traffic. And let's discuss the images. We have first of all the monster who looks like eating kids. Now look at his freaking tongue. It's yellow. Now the color yellow starts repeating itself way too much. We had the yellow bile from Smiley, and now we have the yellow tongue from the monsters. It looks like it's connected somehow. Also notice please that this monster looks like he has some kind of a scar on his cheek, or maybe a band-aid on his cheek, whatever it is. The white thing here is something also to think about. Now here we can obviously see the bar with the sign gasoline, whatever it is. This is the one, pretty much similar. We have here like the circle here, we have the Krillman's cola supposed to be here. Pretty accurate drawing here. We have the Ankui children. Those were the same ones that Tabitha have seen in season 2. Those are, I don't know who are they, but I don't remember an Ankui children with red hair. Okay, and between them there is a drawing of some kind of skulls inside a ground, because you can see here like a small tiny house standing by itself, and under it there's probably a lot of caves where monsters live, and they kind of look like skulls. And we can here see the yellow raven. I call it yellow raven once again because we start to see the yellow color almost everywhere. And usually, like when you think about ravens, let's remember the intro. It has a yellow beak. And just right now, after rewatching this TV show for many times, I was like, since when do ravens have yellow beak? It's black. Why is it yellow? and we're gonna have a lot of connections from those drawings that we're gonna find in Victor's Dead Cellar to actually our intro that we have seen many times. So yeah, the color yellow starts to be very prevalent here. Anyway, we move forward once again. Ankui children creating the infinity sign together, like their heads almost merging. Bleeding eye, the theme that repeats itself many times, and once again it's some yellow goo. Yellow everywhere. This one actually looks like bile, it looks like liquid, and it was done probably on purpose. This one is freaking creepy and also crazy, because we can see here something really scary that looks like from a horror movie, and it's holding something that looks very similar to our talisman. Now, there is a question, who drew those pictures? If it was Eloise or if it was Victor's mom, it doesn't really matter, because the big question is, how would they know about the talismans if they were discovered by Boyd decades after Victor's mom and Eloise left this place? Victor's mom died and Eloise left this place as far as we know. Also, are the talismans actually good and actually helping people? If this fucking thing is the one to hold it? I think it's a very important question. Now, I told you there's gonna be like a spoiler section. Right now we're talking about the official spoilers released by Amazon, and in the end of this video I'm gonna talk a little about of some unofficial, unconfirmed spoilers. You've been warned, and I'm gonna like remind you once again as soon as I'm gonna start talking about it. You're gonna be able to switch off or turn off the video if you don't want to hear it. And anyway, let's move forward. We can see here the boy in white. Obviously he's standing in the middle of the forest. Nothing here suspicious, but we know that the boy in white is the boy in white for a couple of decades, at least probably for hundreds and hundreds of years. We can see here the same image we've seen many times in the intro, and once again, like, hats off to the creators. So they were holding this moment in their mind 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when they started to do this TV show. Like, the first episode was released and we have already seen this image, and now we actually seen it in the TV show and we know who drew them. Anyway, let's move forward. We can see the lake. Maybe it's the Lake of Tears, maybe it's not, but we talked about many times about this TV show, maybe talking about some kind of an upside world. Maybe it's one of the signs, you know, we can see the reflection of the forest in the lake. I think there is a lot to connect to, you know, like to water themes. We have Brundles, we have the drawings in the caves where people arrive on boats, we have Boyd with his boat, we have the monsters when they dead, they look like a fucked up piranha. We have like drawings by Victor, or I don't know, maybe by Eloise, that kinda foretell and tell us about a potential flood of this place. So there is a theme of water that repeats itself many times. Now, when we move forward, this one looks a lot like a colony house to me. Like, look this railing, look at these stairs. It's not the same, but it does look like a colony house. But look at those stones, the one that Father Katri was sitting in the middle of in season 1, and as far as I remember, they're not next to each other. But we also know that some things, some locations are changing their place here in this town, in this world, wherever it is. Like when in the end of season 2, Victor is coming to the bottle tree, the faraway bottle tree, and he's like, where the hell is that? It was here, now it's not. And we can see here the drawing of the houses, like a lot of probably crows in the air. It reminded me once again this shot from the intro, not the same, but you know, like similar. And obviously the 7 uncoiled children laying there in the ritual. This is them. I don't think any doubt here at all. This one, I don't know what it is, but it looked to me like it's a map. It's a map of tunnels in the caves. Maybe this is something that was drawn to be able, like, you know, to find your way in those caves. I don't know if it helps. Maybe you see here something completely different, and if yes, please let me know in the comments. Just the forest. Something black is in the air. I have no idea what it is, but once again, something for you and me to think about. This is a creepy girl. She is super white. She looks like came from that movie Ring, and she's just standing and looking at the window. If this is a monster, it's not anyone we have seen already. If it's somebody from the town, she really needs to get some sun. And what the hell is that? I have no clue. It looks like a drawing of some Spanish matador. Have no idea if it's a guy or a girl. Something white behind his head, whether it's a hat or something. No idea who is that. hopefully we will see something. Once again, if you have any ideas, let me know. Here we have a dog, because dogs are very important in this place, and this looks a lot like something I've seen in X-Files, as some kind of weird figure, looks very ominous, looks very dangerous. It's either some kind of a corridor or maybe some kind of a tunnel, don't know what it is, but it doesn't look friendly at all. And this kind of reminded me, you know, this famous drawing, the Scream, but we can see here once again a bleeding eye, a bleeding face, probably somebody just ate someone. You can see the sleeve here, it looks a lot like the uniform of Civil War soldiers, and here we can see what I think is a milkman. Now also, if this is actually the milkman, it means the monsters, they're not changing for decades and decades and decades. Another interesting piece of information. This is the one that I wasn't able to understand. What the hell is that? If you have any idea. Once again, I can see the color yellow and some lines, some excess, nothing. Like nothing comes to mind. What is that? Here we can see obviously bottle tree, and it's a bottle tree with a faraway tree combined, and there's once again some kind of ominous figure, looks like a man probably, it has like a man stature here, I don't know exactly, but also somebody's standing there. If those images were drawn by Eloise, maybe it's her last memory of the person who killed her mother next to the bottle tree. Now this one reminded me the image of Victor we have seen in the trailer just right now, but it's obviously not Victor, it's somebody else with blonde hair who is holding also like something, whatever it is, and it's very similar to what we have seen with Victor. Another Civil War soldiers shooting at somebody, looks a lot like the scene we have seen with Jade in episode 6 season 1, lighthouse during the night. No details, just once again we can see that there's like a powerful light that checks everything. And this house, or it's not a house, it looks a little bit like the church we have seen in episode 1 season 3, but it's not it. It looks a lot like some kind of a medieval house somewhere from the Middle Ages, 13th, 14th century, something like this. This one also looks a lot like a talisman. It's not exactly like it, but we have seen here like this looks like a moon, this looks like a sun, we have, you know, like the square for the head, we have hands, we have legs, but we don't have the continuation for it. It looks like it's something that started and didn't finish, but it does look a lot like a talisman symbol. And this, what the hell is this booga booga? I have no idea, but it also doesn't look friendly at all. This is just a dead tree, and behind it we have like a, I don't know, like a mirror reflection of it, with the sun probably behind it, but you know, like look at the white thing behind it. I don't know what is that, but doesn't really give me anything to think about, any theories, but I notice, I share. And this is obviously an interesting one, because merry-go-round is something we have seen many times in the first 2 seasons, and just count the children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you guessed it, 7, obviously. And we have an 8th one here, riding a slide or something like this. So if those are the 7 Ankui children before they went completely apeshit with, you know, like the color white and not brushing their teeth, what about this one? Who is that? Is that the boy in white before he changed his wardrobe, because he's the boy in red right now? Or is somebody else? I don't know. Maybe before everything happened, Victor was not the only child with his sister in this place, and there were 7 more. Just a thought there. Here we have the forest, we can see like green, we have the trees, and this one, like right away my psychology told me this is a freaking spider. It's a big spider, this is a spider, go ahead and kill it. And probably it's not a spider, or maybe it is, but it looks like there's some kind of a big black hole in the middle of the forest. This is, what the hell is that? I have no idea. It looks like this is eyes. If this is face, then God help that person to ever get laid in life. And another pilgrim hat. This is probably a soldier. We can see some sort of a rifle here. It looks like it. Once again, the Civil War theme repeats itself. And the last one I couldn't figure out because not much information. We can see some faces, a lot of red. It kind of reminds me a bit the drawing we have seen in Alice's room, you know, like the carpet drawing one, the big one with the monsters. And yeah, it's probably something related to blood. Now at that moment, I'm gonna talk about some spoilers. This is not something that was officially released. This is just something I was able to find in the internet. Like, you know, internet is a big place and you can find different things here. So yeah, those kind of things. So if you don't want to hear, if you don't want to listen, I'm not gonna talk about episode 3 or 4 or 5, nothing like that. I'm gonna talk only about episode 2, but once again, this is not proven information, this is not confirmed information, was just something that I was able to find, and everything that was written there about episode 1 actually turned out to be right. It was published like a day or two before episode 1, so if this one was right, probably the other things are correct too. So once again, if you don't want to listen, this is for you right now a time to turn off this video and switch to something else. So for the rest of you who stayed, first of all, there is an image of Randall wearing a big band-aid on the same cheek like this monster. Maybe it's unrelated because this one have like something small and Randall have a very big one. But once again, this is something that's correlates somehow, so it's maybe connected somehow. But the big one and the very big one is that basically those drawings weren't drawn by Eloise, they were drawn by her mother. She was the one to draw them, and she was the one who drew them even before she got to Fromville. Now I know it's a big one and we're gonna discover it probably in the next episode, but I couldn't make a video when I would be like, I don't know who drew those images, I think it's Eloise, when I already know. I try to avoid some spoilers, but not all the time I can actually do it. So if I know those things, I want to share them with you. So now you know. And the big question here obviously is how the hell did Eloise's and Victor's mom knew all of this before she came to town? The only thing that comes to my mind is Father Guthrie hearing voices that told him to go to Fromville before he actually has been in this place. He thought it was God, probably wasn't, you know, according to how his life ended. Yeah, so those forces can affect people from outside. We have seen the boy in white coming to Tabitha in the beginning of episode 1 in season 3. So there's gonna be a lot to discover next Sunday, and I don't know about you, but I'm really hyped up. So I'm gonna see you on the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Feel free to do whatever you want to support this video. Whatever you do, I appreciate it. And as I told you once already, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!